So Jackie, welcome to the IKC Personal Development School. We're really honoured to have you and your authored work in the school. It's wonderful. But for me today, what I want to do is to learn more about what you do, how you actually came to find the school, and, anything else that I can find out about you. I know from your printed material that you sent me that you've got a bachelor degree in financial sciences, a master's in teaching and learning and higher education, a diploma in kinesiology, and many, many more K courses after that. So that must have really just gripped your heart at some time. You've got lots of kinesiology experience. You graduated in 2001 from the Kinesiology College of Ireland. Your clinic work from 2001 and teaching K from kinesiology courses from 2002. Modalities are in touch for health and wellness kinesiology and vibrational energy, and you're amazing. You teach touch for health and wellness, and you've got a 2-year practitioner diploma in kinesiology, or you run it. You do that. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Before I got into the teaching for learning work, that was my main mission.
Brilliant.
So it's still a core, yes. So because we found that students were taking touch for health and then maybe some wellness, and they didn't really know where to go. So putting a package together, so we have a 2-year diploma that includes all the non-Ks, but all of the kinesiology hours and a little bit more that meets our professional association requirements. But it's actually not just having the modules packaged in a 2-year program. It's the gel that you weave as an organizer, as the instructor, to enable them to put it all together. And I think that's the magic of having a diploma, because otherwise people were finding, I'll do a bit here and a bit there and a bit somewhere else. So we pull it all together and help them. It's that invisible bit, isn't it? That, what is it to be a practitioner? It's not just the sum of 20 courses. It's something else, and so hopefully we help them to find that as we're finding it ourselves along the way.
Brilliant. And is the recognition of that diploma just in Ireland, or is it throughout the UK?
No, it's just in Ireland. So we have, our association is the Kinesiology Association of Ireland, and they set the professional standards and requirements for working in Ireland. So that's where we have our approval. Amazing
value that you bring to the association.
Yeah, it's really worked well, and it's good for me as well as the organizer, because you can minimize your admin time and concentrate on the teaching, which is what I love, and the student learning, and helping people to get out there and do what we all know and love.
Brilliant.
Because you know what you have set up for the year or the 2 years in advance.
Yes. And Jackie,
of course, a little bit more challenging in these times.
We did,
but we can support each other. You see, this is the thing. We've moved what we can online, but we stay online, doing what we can when we can't be in person. So I think that's a great advantage that couldn't have been foreseen for anybody.
No. This was a surprise for all of us. Mm. Yes, it certainly was. Jackie, it's good to be talking with you. I have a question for you now, though.
Oh, okay.
What is the focus of your teaching for learning work? What's the main?
Well, the main focus is educational improvement, but through community. So my absolute passion is connecting people, supporting instructors. As teachers, we can be doing amazing things in our classroom, and that was certainly was my impression of Touch for Health worldwide. But oftentimes, what happens in the classroom, although wonderful, stays in the classroom, and it's private, and we can end up feeling quite isolated as instructors. So coming together, being in community, and connecting, sharing and building, which is the tagline for our Hangouts, was really the way I saw it going. And, this was my personal journey, and I wasn't finding what I was wanting locally. I just wanted to be part of a of a group actively. And, you know, it's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. And not finding what I needed myself, I started to create, you know, this sort of thing. And as it happened, other people wanted it and joined me. And that was really the start. But it's interesting because it's evidence-based, and we call it evidence-based teaching. So it is in the research, even though everything looks very easy and normal, like let's get together and chat about what we're doing, let's share, let's build on each other's ideas. But it is actually research-based and evidence-based. Other big focus as well that I should mention, which is the purpose of teaching is learning. And as teachers, I think all of us can sometimes be so excited about our teaching and putting this wonderful teaching plan together. Sometimes, as we're human, it can be possible to actually forget about the learning and be focused on the teaching. So a big focus for me is keeping the focus, keeping the spotlight on the learning. So everything I do is community, support, connecting, building, sharing, but also focus on the learning.
So with this, where was your original inspiration? Was it from a disappointment that you had in your learning experience, or where did the inspiration for this originally come from?
So I was a Touch for Health instructor. I mean, when I did my diploma with Ger Casey in 2001, I mean, straight away I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I've heard you talking about little kids playing, and you can see them at you. That was me. I always played with my dolls, and I was teaching even these invisible children since I was very small. So I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, you know, when I was doing my diploma training, and I did my teacher training for both Touch for Health and Wellness immediately after finishing. But after about 10 years, and you know, we all want improvement, all of us instructors. I mean, the stuff I'm saying is not going to be rocket science for anybody. We all want the same things. We all want to improve. And so, you know, for the first 10 years, I had plenty of ideas of how to improve my teaching, my student learning, my classes. But after about 10 years, I sort of ran out of ideas, and I certainly didn't think it was because I had it nailed. I knew I needed input from outside of me. So I, after searching for a long time, I eventually found a Master's in Teaching and Learning and Higher Education in University College Cork. And their focus was on Project Zero's Teaching for Understanding framework. And it was probably the only theory that I'd ever heard about. So that was an interesting conversation. So so it was really that deficit I felt to myself, and that course I went through a certificate, a postgraduate certificate, then diploma, and then the master's. And that journey was so inspirational with Dr. Marion McCarthy, who was my supervisor and the head of the unit. It just blew me away, idea after idea after idea, and it all tying back into the research. And it ends up what I was feeling after 10 years is actually documented in the research, and it is normal. So my work then has been to share what I learned and what I found useful with others. And it turns out people are interested.
Brilliant. So that probably and possibly you've almost answered, but maybe there's a little more. And my next question is, where do you see it developing from here?
Yeah, well, at the moment, so like I see CPD as a lifelong learning issue. Like as instructors, you know, we're on this journey. It's always a journey of lifelong learning. And we can do that through workshops, through mentoring, through the hangouts that we've created, through conferences, the IKC conference, maybe online conferences that we're seeing in these COVID times, and also by research. So what I have done is put programs together that facilitate, say, the workshops and the hangouts, the connecting part of it. And also as part of my Making the Invisible Visible workshop, participants and colleagues complete a mini research project to help them put in some change they've been thinking about for a long time and haven't quite got around to doing it. So we do that in a guided way. So I have currently got 5 workshops, 4 of them approved with the IKC, with yourselves and the PDS, and the other one will be on its way to you shortly. I see those workshops growing. So basically what is happening is they are guiding the way. It's almost like their center stage, and they tell me what's next. So making the invisible visible is making teaching visible, making learning visible, and making thinking visible. But now people are asking me for a deeper dive. So they want to go into all of these aspects at a much deeper level and be supported and do it more slowly. So from September, I'm going to introduce a year-long program where we can do that deeper dive. We've got the Hangouts program. We've got a module for supporting people who want to start teaching online, facilitating online teaching and learning, student-centered learning. And embracing mistakes is going to be not only for instructors, but for everybody from Touch for Health 1. And my intention with that one is to open it up to Touch for Health instructors to teach it. And that came out of the research I did at college. It was a tiny little bit, but as I put the program together and presented it at conferences in the UK and Bali, and I think I presented it in Germany as well, it ends up that it's really resonating with people. I didn't see it as a big thing, but it actually is. So, but it's very simple, a very simple process. So I do see that these programs will grow, hopefully grow, worldwide. And we will develop more subject to where people's interests are. So following the needs of our community.
Continuing professional education. Wonderful. Wow. I'm just in awe. I'm absolutely in awe, Jackie. And it's been such a privilege the last few years to have got to know you. And one question that I want to ask from the Personal Development School is, what do you feel is the value of being part of the PDS?
Oh, well, I mean, Sylvia, this is like my home, so I have a place to call home, a place where I belong. It's to be part of a community of authors, to be able to have your work peer reviewed, because we all work alone. And if you create something, you've no idea, is it good, bad, or rubbish, or excellent? But also, if it's good, just to have it fine-tuned and get some, some of that peer review it's like outstanding. It's also to have the international certificates, to have access to the website, and just be part of a community of authors and be able to connect with people who want to get involved. So for me, it's that sense of belonging.
Jackie, this has been such a wonderful time this afternoon. Afternoon for me, here's Sylvia Marina in Perth in Western Australia, and Jackie Lysaght in Ireland.
It's morning here, just 9:30 in the morning.
It's morning where you are.
Yeah.
Jackie, thank you so much. And I look forward to sometime in the future, you and I chatting together again.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you for all the work you do in the PDS. Really, really grateful. My privilege
to have the opportunity to share a little bit of my time, a little bit of my life with the industry, the kinesiology industry that has given me so much over the years. The love and the support from people that I've met and I've known, and I've travelled so much around the world sharing my work. And it's such a privilege now to be sitting in Perth in Western Australia in my office and going, I can do a little bit more help here. Yes, I can. I'm not on planes at the moment, but I'm here on Zoom.
Oh, and thank you for all that you do, and all of the other people, the board, and everybody else in the PDS. It's fantastic.
It's a lovely community. It is. Good, Jackie. Thank you.